in the podcast studio. That is where I have been, and I have had such a wonderful assortment of guests talking about all sorts of things that they're doing and what they're up to. And what better way to come back to you, Jeff Roberto, known you for such a long time. Must be, we were just chatting 5, 6, 7 years. First at PixArt, you've got a new gig. You've got a new company.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Sure. So the company's name is Nodle. Nodle is a decentralized mobile network that was initially launched in the crypto craze.
All right.
So imagine millions of phones all connecting to one another via Bluetooth and building a network. So that's what the company has built. I came on to launch a new mobile app. It's called Click. Very simple.
Right. Okay.
What Click does is it's media authentication on chain. So what that means is basically you can take photo and video with our app.
Yeah.
And you can swipe to sign it. And when you sign it, a digital proof is created, proving that your device took that image or that video at a specific location, at a specific time, with specific camera settings. So in a world of misinformation and deepfaking, we're building an app that cuts through that and helps people navigate, between what's real and what's fake.
That's going to be very interesting, because that's what I was just... It's election year. What can I say?
Yes.
No comment on that one. But I was reading yes, there was this, but was it said there? And we don't know. And was it taken? And then it's part of the footage, but part of it's been edited. And I'm thinking, we are going to be in for something. But this is going to be a way to authenticate and say, this is authentic. This is taken here at this time. Can't make that up.
Yes. And we think the election year is it's obviously a big deal. 2 billion people are voting around the world. In many, many countries. I think it's over 50 or 60 countries are going to election this year. It's a lot of people. That's a lot of news. That's a lot of misinformation floating around. And so we have a solution for that. In order for people to leverage our app, they need to capture the media, the content with our app. And that's how it works. So citizen journalists, reporters, public safety,
they'll capture
law enforcement.
It with your app.
Correct.
And the fact that the phone is part of a larger network, it's almost like all these different points are going to help me do more than triangulate. This is going to say, all the phones said, this is the one.
Yes. And you just hit on the key point. We're calling that digital witnesses.
Oh.
So there'll be other phones or other nodes, hence the name Nodle, the parent company.
But the nodes,
will be able to verify that your device took that image or that video at that location at that time.
People at the BBC are going to love you, because they're the ones going really in and saying, we took a look at the footage and this is what we say.
Yes. So BBC, New York Times, all the major news and media organizations are folks we're talking to. We're also supporting C2PA, which is Adobe's open standard and initiative around content provenance. And so that's a metadata standard that we're supporting. We're going a step further though, and we're actually signing the content, a digital proof of the content on blockchain. So we think that this is going to be kind of a new way to authenticate. And it's actually, quite frankly, a real world use case for blockchain. And I think we're going to start to see more and more of these now with the rise of AI. There's a lot more content being created, and there's going to be a need to verify that content. Yes.
Well, Jeff, it isn't where I would have expected you to land.
Yes.
Because I didn't ask. I just said, Jeff, you're going to be at Mal. I'm at Mal. Let's do this. Let's catch up. Because when you were at PixArt, it was mind blowing. I mean, that went to 1 billion downloads. It was an incredible app. It was so on the money.
Yes.
And even told us all about K-pop, because that was one of the drivers here.
Yeah.
You became a fan.
Yeah. So I spent 7 years there. It was a long run. It was the longest run of my career. It was a lot of fun. And quite frankly, that company and those tools are amazing. And I think they'll continue to go far.
Oh, they're still rocking and rolling, but you are at your new one.
Building AI, Gen AI tools for Gen Z kind of showed me how fast content was going to be created and how there will be a need to verify in the future and, have tools to help people navigate misinformation and deepfake.
Just won't even just only misinformation, but just also maybe being able to say, this is real content. This was made by a real person, and a little bit of, I wouldn't say ownership, because ownership isn't exactly cool and we don't really go in for ownership, at least making a claim to a piece of content to say, it originated from me at least.
Yes. Exactly.
We don't know if you can own it, but at least we know the origin.
So right now, everything captured is anonymous in the sense it's tied to a device, not a person.
Got it.
In the future, there will be an identity component that we introduce.
Oh.
And once we have that,
marketers are going to love you.
You hit it on the money in terms
ID,
of
identity data,
and royalties and tracking and commerce, marketplace. You can kind of see where that goes once we have identity and you are in the field taking images, and publications or media organizations want to use your content. You can be compensated for that.
Wow.
And we'll have the full digital trail leading to, the person in the device.
So where'd this idea come from, Jeff? This must be something in your inner mechanism. You have to change stuff. You have to do stuff and change stuff.
I constantly have to be trying, testing, doing, experimenting with new things.
Yeah, I thought so.
Prior to Pixar, I spent 5 years at Shazam building that business.
Oh, Shazam.
In the earlier days before Apple acquired them.
I remember Shazam when it started, and it was so cool. And the founder, name escapes me.
Chris Barton.
Yeah.
Well, there's actually 4 founders.
Yeah, it was Chris Barton.
Chris is the one that's the most public, and he does a lot of public speaking and talking about it. Yeah.
So this is really horrible that I know these things. we know now. We'll just say seasoned.
Yeah.
We are seasoned. We won't go there. So this is something.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a cool idea, but I'm going to have to ask, the business of apps in me has to ask. Monetizing.
Yes.
How are you going to do it?
So multiple ways. So first, the obvious one is kind of subscription, right? So we launch subscription, we introduce tiers, maybe you get a certain number of verifications a month. Maybe you pay for identity because you want to actually earn, revenue or commission off of your work. Yeah. So that's one. 2 is marketplace, where we start to bring in media agencies and companies and the creators or the content capturers themselves. And there's an exchange.
Just finally a marketplace for citizen journalism.
For citizen journalism.
It's not just hey, I believe in this. Let me go out and capture this because I have to show the truth. It's I can also, I can monetize it. Why not?
Well, it could be for anything.
The media organizations are going to monetize it. Why can't I?
Why can't I? Right.
Yeah.
And it could be more than citizen journalism. It could be fans. It could be influencers, right?
That's
it could be a lot. I think sports is a big category for us because there's a lot of people capturing a lot of content. Yeah. Not all of it's real. And there's also a lot of, loyal fans that talk a big game on social media, right? And so this will be a way to verify what's real, what's fake. And also super fans could get compensated for some of that content. Moving down kind of the monetization ladder of things is SDK. So we have an SDK available now called Content Sign, and that is exportable or essentially can be placed into other apps and other services.
Okay.
So we're actively working on a few partnerships there. So think, transit apps, public safety apps, municipalities that want to authenticate the content coming to them from people in their cities. Where they would essentially pay per authentication or per signing of content. And
then we talked about the identity. In this world, all data is good data, and just a little bit more to understand and piece together that digital breadcrumb trail of who was this person within our privacy first landscape, but who was that person? What is going on here? That tells us something about the person, the persona, the profile. There's a way to get brands involved. And who knows, maybe even a couple that are directly involved, the ones in content production.
Yeah. Well, I think for marketers, it's interesting because as time goes on, I think marketers are more and more going to have the need to verify what they're doing. This was my campaign. This is my idea. This is my brand. This is my spokesperson or my celebrity endorsement, right? And verifying that. We're actually seeing some faking. I'm sure you're aware, but there's some brands that essentially are, or there are some people that have put together some combinations of celebrity and brand that actually aren't working together. We think that that's another case.
Oh, yeah. So it's a little bit not just brand safety, but just sort of brand representation.
Yes.
Reinforcement. It's yes, this is the celebrity. This is the influencer that I have chosen. This is my brand. This all fits together.
Yes. And
there's no way that it can be combined any other way.
And if you're a creator or an influencer, you just want to authenticate your content just in case it shows up somewhere that you didn't authorize. Right. So you can, so it can be traced back to you, and you can potentially get royalties or compensated for that content.
So I totally get this. And it's a marketplace that is already there in pieces.
Yes.
I mean, for that matter, even our videographers here are like thinking, yeah, hell yeah, you know, what I do, it'll be mine for sure.
We support video today.
There you go.
But it's short form video, right?
Okay.
But as time goes on, we'll be able to authenticate longer pieces of content.
So you got a great idea. You've got an untapped audience. This all fits together. It's election year. Any help is helpful. Give us some information that's real. But you have to also get the distribution. You talked about partners, but you got to bring it out. So what is this? It's just like an app, and you're going to do your ASO and put it out on the App Store and market it and hope for the best? Or is there some really cool Jeff idea here to streamline that?
Yeah, there are a lot of Jeff ideas in here.
Yeah.
I would say, the basics right now, because how I've approached both Shazam and Pixart and now Click is really start with the organic, right? Build that organic foundation, get ASO set up the right way, get social media working, start engaging with reporters and press. And great news, this product is actually for them. So they are engaging on it. And once that starts moving and we start getting that kind of, scaling, then we can layer on the paid acquisition. But only once we have the monetization built into the app. Today, that piece isn't there. But
that was always the smart point. You were the one doing that, and everyone was like, doing paid, and you were like, no, we're not doing paid yet. And you know what? It was exactly that step. You have to build. You have to cement, and then you expand.
Yes. The good news is that the Nodle network today is about. We just crossed 100,000 daily actives, and it's close to it's over 500,000 now monthly actives. So there's a community there. Those are nodes, right, that exist out in the world.
Yeah.
All of those people aren't authenticating content today, but we are, working now to, from a community perspective, get those people onto the Click app and authenticating content. And that to me is like a built-in network
because they're the nodes of the Nodle.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What you did at Pixar is you gave people the tools. Here it's just an app, and I guess the camera in my phone. But are there additional tools in there? Are you bringing some of that in as well?
We are, but I guess similar to Pixar. Pixar very much in the earlier days was a utility, right? It was kind of like a one-player game. I'm going to go in, I'm going to edit my photo, and I'm going to share it. But you weren't connecting to people, and there weren't social features, and then those came over time. And similar, in a similar way, we're building this. Today, you're capturing content, you're sharing it. But in the future, there will be social features, and there will be, the identity piece and other ways to connect with people.
Yeah, I can feel it. It's like a little bit of Tony Stark here.
Yeah.
All the different things you can do from just having the iron, the core. So you got some swag here, and you got a very cool logo there. That's straight to the point.
You like it?
Yeah.
It's the camera with the C.
It works. It's we had so much of that icon testing. I mean, it looks like a camera. I see the C. I see everything.
So it's very, very straightforward. We have beautiful app icon here.
Yeah.
We have just a lockup brand
there
sticker.
You go. And this is all for me, right?
This is all for you.
Okay.
And then we have a very cool kind of postcard here with QRs to our press kit and the app. And then what I love, and I spent time designing with our design team, is the very simple 1, 2, 3 how it works. So you're capturing, you're swiping, and then you're sharing.
See, that's what we need. We need super simple stuff.
Very simple.
I like that. Was it Digital Trust Network?
Yes. So we thought about, we're playing in a new space.
Yeah.
Right. And blockchain traditionally has always been about trust and very, immutable content or immutable, an immutable ledger that you can't alter or edit. So we're playing around with kind of how is this best positioned? And I think Digital Trust Network fits what we're trying to do, because it is a network, but it's not necessarily a personal network. You don't necessarily know who owns the phone down the hall, but it's a trusted connection.
When it catches on, you'll be getting some calls from some candidates, I can imagine.
Yes. Well, first we need to scale it, and then we'll start building out the team. It's a pretty small team today. Total company is about 30 people.
Okay.
And
we need you in place by November, so work hard.
Yes, we're working. But we have some big conversations happening with the usual suspects in media right now. And, we are hopeful that we'll get some partnerships in place and get folks using us, both in the field and some people in the content business that may start to take this content into their marketplaces as well.
Well, I gotta say, Jeff, I was like, oh yeah, I'll give it a shot. Let's see what you're up to again. But I have to say, you're like a serial category creator. Where does that come from?
I think just, I've always been into what's new and next. I mean, that's just kind of how I've, and by the way, there's been a lot of challenges with that through the years. Yeah. Every company I work for hasn't been a win. There's been some fails, but I think that comes with the territory.
Yeah, but they have evolved. Yes. I mean, I look at Shazam, I look at PixArt, billion downloads. Yes. I look at this, I'm like, yeah, I can totally see it. Yeah. And these are untapped spaces. These are blue oceans. You're a blue ocean man, I can see.
Yes. That's what's fun for me. Building, creating, once a company gets to be too big and there's too much structure, it's not that fun for me anymore.
So we're here at Mal. There's a pool party going on that I'm going to probably go and check out with you. But what else do you want to be doing at Mal? What is this visit for you?
Yeah, so for me, it's really about reconnecting with a lot of people that I work with in previous roles and just kind of introducing them to what I'm up to and really setting the tone for what we're going to be doing, right? Because once we do get monetization in place and we start putting down our paid strategies, I'm going to be working with a lot of people that are here. So just kind of getting click on the radar of everybody.
So I say we go down and we dive in literally.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, you're on.
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks for the time.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for always consistently amazing me.
All right.